So I was tagged in the Disney 18 questions and figured why not add in a little bit of Disney into the questions. So let's start off with question number 1. Let's go. Which Disney movie or scene would you like to be in? Mine would be Toy Story when Andy gives up his toys, because I would take all the toys. I'd take Rex, I'd take Buzz, Miss Potato Head, which I had a Miss Potato Head as a kid. I'd play with them all, even still. I wouldn't care. So that's probably what scene I'd be in. It sounds crazy, but Toy Story. That's mine.
Okay, so mine's a little bit more serious. I would want to be in the Saving Mr. Banks movie, because then I would have gotten to meet Walt and how he imagined his movies, and also got to meet the author of Mary Poppins. So that's why I'd want Mr. Saving
Mr. Banks.
Saving Mr. Banks.
Right.
Concert. Seems like everyone in LA is headed to the show.
Here we go, rock and roller coaster.
Just
Question
right
number 2.
on
Let's
LA's
go.
Classic Rock Station.
What is your best moment in a Disney park? For me, sounds maybe weird. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe other people have had this experience and it felt great. For me personally, it was, we were riding Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and it just happened to be at the same time that night that the fireworks were going off. And so we come out the little tunnel that you start in, whatever you want to consider it, when you're loading the mine trains. And once we came outside, all of a sudden there's fireworks above our heads. So I mean, what's cooler than riding roller coasters and fireworks? So that was definitely one of my most memorable moments that I'll probably never forget.
That's one of my favorites too, just because the mine train is in a perfect location to watch fireworks. So we were on a roller coaster and happily ever after. So that was a really good time and something that we'll never forget. We were with friends too, and everyone just had a great time. And then my other favorite Disney moment was when we actually ran into the Trackers, another YouTube couple that we really look up to, whether it's through YouTube or relationships or anything like that. They're just kind of like goals, you know, and they're a really cute couple and we really like watching them. So that was another fun moment because I couldn't even get a word out because I totally fangirled them. But it was a really good fun memory for one of our anniversary trips.
Yeah, it's definitely another unforgettable moment.
Yep.
What non-Disney song makes you think of Disney? I've seen a lot of people struggle with this one.
I did.
Yeah, she
Took
did
me
too.
a while.
For me, I chose Friends, the TV show, the theme song for Friends, because it seems like every weekend we're almost going with some friends inviting us. We have a couple of different friends that are pass holders. So every weekend I feel like a different friend's inviting us to go to Disney with them. So then eventually we need a break for ourselves. But so yeah, Friends would be mine because we're
good moments with friends that will always be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite non-Disney song would be Aerosmith's, because Rock and Roller Coaster, really any of them.
Yeah.
But you know, it's one of our favorite rides, and we actually saw Steven Tyler in concert. So it brings back memories of not only a concert, but Disney roller coasters and times, and it's a good jam while you're on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite.
I agree. Hey guys, question number 4. When was your first Disney trip? Mine wasn't too long ago. It was Christmas of 2017. That was my first time ever going to Disney. We went to the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. We also went to Epcot that day. So that was my first trip. It was definitely very memorable and kind of led me to where I'm at now, being a Disney addict, and I want to go every weekend.
All I wanted was the Christmas party Christmas tickets for Christmas. And this guy has now become the Disney nerd because of me. But I just wanted to go once, and now look at us. But my favorite, or my first Disney trip was in May of 2003. I actually came down with my parents. I lived in the Chicago area at the time. I was only, 10 or 11, and I got to go with both my parents while my mom had a work trip down here. So we were able to take a few days that, she extended that trip, and we were all able to go to Disney together.
Which Disney character would be your best friend? Mine would be Buzz Lightyear. And why I wore Mr. Buzz. Buzz Lightyear because I could have him fly me to infinity and beyond, to every Disney park within an instant. I could be at Disneyland or Disney Paris, Tokyo, Shanghai. Be at all of them. I'd just be like, hey, Buzz, take me here. And I'd jump on his wings and fly to the next park. Wouldn't have to ride monorail or bus or Uber. I'd fly. So yeah, that'd be mine.
My Disney character that would be my best friend, I feel like, would be Mickey, because he's my favorite. He's always positive, he's supportive, and of course it all started with a mouse. So without Mickey, there's no Disney. And I don't know, he's just so cute and fun, and I love him, and I try to take selfies with him when I can, and he's the ultimate Disney character, so why not? He's the king. So that's my favorite.
Which Disney sidekick best fits your personality? I chose Stitch because he can kind of be adorable, he can kind of be reckless, all at the same moment. I can do cute things every once in a while, but I can also accidentally tear up stuff. So sometimes I'm not allowed to touch certain things in the house because
He'll break it.
Yeah, I'll break it. So that's why I chose Stitch, because even though he's trying to do some of the things out of heart and for the best, he breaks stuff. So Stitch, that's my answer.
I would say my Disney sidekick would be Olaf, because he's always trying to find the sun. He always wants to be at the beach or get warm. He wants to be in the warmth even though he's a snowman. And so I kind of was a snowman, because I grew up in Chicago in the winter storms, and all I wanted was a beach. So I moved to Florida, where I'm literally surrounded like an island around an ocean.
Yeah.
So I'm Olaf. That's my Disney sidekick.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Let's roll.
So, who is your favorite Disney princess? I chose Cinderella because the shoe fits. Makes sense. No.
And here in Florida, it's Cinderella's castle.
Yeah.
It's not Sleeping Beauty's.
Right. That would be Disneyland in California.
Mm-hmm.
But Cinderella, she's classic. I feel like that's one of the top ones that if you could ask probably any person, any kid, name one princess, I feel like Cinderella is the number one that's going to pop up. Well, probably now it's Elsa.
Oh yeah,
Kids
Elsa's
nowadays.
really popular now. Yeah.
But
in our time.
yeah, in our time.
When we grew up.
90s babies.
Yeah.
It'd probably be Cinderella, so that was my answer.
Okay, so my favorite Disney princess is Belle. She was smart, but she also was pretty. She was desirable, but yet she never let anyone push her around. When Beast took her dad, she stood up. She wouldn't let him take him. She didn't let Gaston push her around. She, knew what she wanted, and she knew what she didn't want. And so I feel like she was the most realistic, independent princess, where, she didn't necessarily need a man, but she kind of fell in love with one. So, she didn't need a man to get her voice back or get her legs or to save her from her evil, stepmom or anything like that, or to wake up. Yeah. Literally, she just kind of fell into it. So I think that's why that's my favorite.
Which Disney movie or scene never fails to make you cry? Alright, I'm going old school on this one. For me, I consider it kind of old school. Eddie, by the way, Fox and the Hound was a very good choice, so that's why I'm not taking this one, because I know the scene you're talking about very well. I'm going with Old Yeller.
Okay.
Where, sadly, the boy has to kill his dog. He literally has to shoot his dog. And that one kind of touches close to home because I had a golden retriever as a kid, and he got ran over, and he laid there in the yard kicking in pain.
Oh my gosh.
And that morning when I woke up, he's laying there in the front yard just kicking, and we had to go out and kill him because, I used to spend money going to the vet and have him put down, so grabbed the shotgun and had to do what we had to do. So that scene, I don't think I could ever watch that movie again. So that one sticks in my head because they're both, one's a lab, one's golden retriever, but they're kind of similar dogs. So that was mine.
I would say the Disney movie that makes me cry every time. I mean, there are several because I feel like Disney movies are kind of morbid. But lately, most recently, I would say Coco, when he realizes who his grandpa is, well, his great-grandpa, and where he got his musical talent from. But he is disappearing, his great-grandpa is disappearing because of his grandma's memory loss. She can't remember him to keep him alive in the afterlife, so he literally goes into dust right when Coco realizes that his grandpa's past has been totally ruined and miscommunicated. So this was like their chance to fix his history, and they really didn't have the chance. So I cried at that moment. So that one's mine recently.
Oh yeah.
What is your favorite Disney movie? I chose Lion King because I can just watch it over and over no matter how many times. I love the music to it. I love watching Simba grow and being raised by Timon and Pumbaa. And taking down Scar later on to take his kingdom back. So Lion King's definitely my favorite to watch. Probably because I would say Toy Story, but Toy Story has series which lessens it for me in an odd way. Compared to Lion King, there's just like one Lion King. So I'm definitely ready for the live series to come out. I'm waiting for that one intensely. So what's yours?
My favorite is Beauty and the Beast, which is surprising, right? Considering I just said that Belle is my favorite princess. But I was actually in a Beauty and the Beast musical growing up, so I kind of have like a special place in my heart for that movie. And then, I just really like the music, and I just, I really like the live action. That's one of my favorite so far, considering there's a lot coming out this year.
Yeah.
So I think they did a really good job with that as well. It's just something that I used to always watch all the time. So it brings back memories, not just from being a kid, but also, in high school, being in the musical and, things like that. So that one's my favorite.
Nice. What Disney movie is most overrated? Alright, Jocelyn, I hope I'm saying your name right. Disney Gratitude, that's your Twitter handle, I know that one for sure. I know you're a big Star Wars fan, but I have to say Star Wars is a little overrated to me.
Unpopular opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I've watched a few of the movies. I like R2-D2 and Jar Jar Binks and Yoda. But that's about all I can tell you. I just never gotten into it. Like, I'm kind of sad sometimes. Hollywood, half the park feels like it's Star Wars.
Star Wars Studios, as we call it. Yeah.
But, so, yeah, I'd have to say that one's a little overrated for me.
Yeah, well, I kind of feel the same way. I might have watched the first one when I was really little, but I don't even remember. So I feel like I just missed that opportunity to get into Star Wars. I was the only child growing up, so it's not like I had older brothers or anything that could influence me. And my dad never was really into it either. So I feel like that's a little overrated. Kind of like what we said, it's Hollywood Studios is actually Star Wars Studios, especially now with Galaxy's Edge opening, and then just half of it, and the parade, and the stormtroopers. It's just a little much. Yeah. But I also kind of feel like, and everyone's probably gonna hate this too, but I also feel like Avatar is a little overrated. I really like the ride. I like Flight of Passage. Yeah. Not necessarily the river journey. Yeah. That one's kind of boring. I do like, the Flight of Passage ride. However, I watched Avatar when it first came out, and I really didn't know or realize it had such a big following until they opened the Pandora area. Yeah. So, but I mean, I don't know anybody in my circle that goes home and watches Avatar. Yeah. On purpose, on a regular basis. Right. So maybe that's why I think it's overrated. Yeah. So, but Pandora is really awesome. The park part is awesome. The movie, I feel like, is overrated.
Yeah, they did a great job with the ride and the Pandora section, but I don't know, the movie itself didn't do much for me, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it was a cool movie. I watched it. I probably watched it a few times, but not, I didn't realize it was such a huge cult. Yeah. So, yeah.
So, what Disney movie is most underrated? Eddie, you might like this one. Said Fox and the Hound, because I feel like it doesn't get as much attention as a lot of your older movies kind of did. Yeah. Where it really showed, to me now as an adult, I guess, showing friendship and love in a way. Because even though Copper was a hunting dog and his whole purpose was to hunt foxes, basically, or other animals, him and Chief would hunt. That was what they were trained to do. But yet him and Todd became friends, Todd being a fox, for anyone who hasn't seen Fox and the Hound. They became a good friendship, which in a way now as an adult, I guess I see that as being, even though you can be two totally different types of people, it's okay to build a friendship. I feel like maybe Disney should show that a little bit more.
Especially today.
Yeah.
Yeah, with what's going on.
So that's why I feel like that's a little bit of an underrated movie. Maybe they should bring it back a little bit, like some like Mermaid and some of these other princess movies and stuff.
Okay. The Disney movie that I feel is underrated, and I feel strongly about this because I used to watch this movie on repeat. So just like, kids today watch Frozen on repeat or Moana on repeat. Yeah. I watched Hunchback of Notre Dame on repeat. I knew all the songs. I watched it. I can't even remember, how many times. It was just always on. That's just one of the movies that I grew up watching, around that time period of Beauty and the Beast and Lion King in the 90s. Right. And so, everyone gets, still today recognition, but where's that movie? Yeah. Where's that classic Disney movie? And especially now with the fire and, all this different stuff. I feel like you can't find Esmeralda or anything like that anywhere. Yeah. So,
yeah, because it was definitely underrated. Popular in its time. Yeah. It just kind of disappeared, though.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah. It doesn't even exist. Not cool.
What is your favorite Disney song? Well, kind of goes back to one of my favorite movies. That would be Lion King's Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. So, yeah, that Hakuna Matata would probably be my favorite song. Yeah, what's yours?
I would say my favorite's Be Our Guest. But like I said, I have a special connection to Beauty and the Beast. So
She was the dishes.
I was a plate in my musical when I was in Beauty and the Beast, and so I had this huge plate backpack around me. So in Be Our Guest, when they say "Don't believe me, ask the dishes," I came out and I sang, and so like that's so awesome, and so that's like my favorite part of the whole song because that's what I did. Yeah, but also like it's a fun song, and
it is.
You know, it's kind of
easy to remember.
Yeah, and it's like really catchy and fun and light instead of morbid.
Yeah.
Like they're all the movies. So that's my favorite song.
What is your least favorite Disney song? My least favorite Disney song would have to be Magic Kingdom's Kiss Goodnight, because sadly, that's kind of like for an adult, that's last call at a bar. That means
that's closing time.
Closing time. We have to leave, and I don't want to leave. I want to stay and ride more rides and see more fireworks. But no, they're playing the music, which means get out. So yeah, that's my least favorite song because they're basically telling me to get out of Disney.
Yep. So my least favorite Disney song. It's not a Disney movie either. It's a park song, and it's a small world. It sticks in your head all day. The ride isn't even that good. Well, at Disney World anyway. I don't know about Disneyland, but it's an uneventful ride with a terrible song that you will sing for the rest of the day.
What do you mean? You get to hear It's a Small World in like 20 different languages.
All these different languages. So, I mean, that part, I get it. You know, I get the whole different nationalities and cultures.
It's a small world.
It's a good, I mean, it's a good concept, but this song just kills me. So, that's not my favorite. It's definitely not my favorite.
Who is your most memorable Disney villain? And mine would have to be Scar. Mine would have to be Scar because he killed Mufasa. And I mean, how's he gonna do him like that? He knows he's got a little kid, and the little kid's there. But, and then...
Aren't they brothers? Or no?
Yeah, they're brothers.
Okay.
So, it's like, he kills his brother because he's jealous and he wants the kingdom, and then he kills him in front of his son, so that makes him heartless right there, and then blames his dad's death on the son to make it look like, to make the whole kingdom hate Simba. So... It
was a kid, or cub.
Cub, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Same thing. But still though, it's just all these things topped on top of each other is just like, that's pure evil in its meanest form to me. So for me, it has to be Scar.
Okay, so following with the whole lady power theme, my favorite villain is Maleficent. So I think she's my favorite and most memorable for me because she didn't technically start out as a villain. She, you know, was born, you know, she was normal, but through a turn of events in her life, she became very bitter and then started taking it out, you know, on her, I guess you could say her boyfriend, you know, her ex-boyfriend, the daughter, like all this different stuff that, you know, people can become that way, you know, after so many bad things happening in their life, they become bitter and not necessarily evil or a villain, but, you know, bad things happen to them and they become grouchy. So, which I feel like, you know, Maleficent, you know, some of it, maybe she didn't handle it right, but at the same time, you know, it was kind of out of her hands and she was just kind of made into a villain and then she acted on it. So, I don't know, but I really like her. I think she's cool. So, that one's my favorite.
Because she wasn't born evil. She kind of, the world turned
developed
her evil.
Yeah.
Here we go. Question number 15. Which classic Disney ride is your favorite? For me, the classic ride that would be my favorite would be Space Mountain. And, I mean, there's nothing like riding where you can't see.
That's scary.
Yeah, especially the front seat. I don't mind the front seat so much because there's a lot of extra leg room up there, I've realized. But when you're in the back, you can kind of see everyone's body turning in front of you just a tad bit, so you can kind of prepare. As when you're in the front seat, you can't see anything.
Pitch black.
So,
and it's classic.
yeah, it's definitely a classic. I feel like it's a ride that everyone wants to do when they go to Disney, like when they go for their first time. So that Space Mountain would be my favorite for sure.
That one's my favorite. Classic Disney ride too. I would say, you know, it holds a lot of nostalgia, you know, about Disney World. And kind of like what you said, everyone wants to ride it as, you know, their first visit. That's something that they really want to do. And I have a lot of memories on Space Mountain with different friends, and it's a fun ride, and that one's my favorite classic for sure. Mm-hmm.
All right, question number 16. All right, so which modern Disney ride is your favorite? Rock and Roller Coaster would be mine. I just love it. It's probably the most intense ride. But yeah, Rock and Roller Coaster would be my favorite. I love the music with Aerosmith and kind of being like behind the scenes in a way. You're rushing through traffic. But between the music and the intensity of the ride, that's definitely my favorite for sure.
I would say my favorite modern roller coaster is Rock and Roller Coaster. That one's really one of my favorite rides. It's thrilling, it's fun, it's exciting, and I like to see Aerosmith, you know, when they're younger, in the intro there, and the songs. It's just a lot of fun. But I'd also say my other modern ride is Frozen Ever After. That one's my other, I mean, it's a boat ride, so I wouldn't call it a roller coaster.
Yeah.
So that's why I said my favorite modern roller coaster, but then my favorite ride would be Frozen Ever After. I think the everything about it, like the electronics and everything in it, is super modern, and they look real. You know, going back to the least favorite ride or whatever. But like, if you go into Small World, it's
bunch of puppets.
Yeah, like you can tell like it's old. And then you like go into Frozen and it's so modern, and everything is so colorful and vibrant and new. And also I like Let It Go. So that's one of my favorite Disney songs too. But so those two are my favorite modern Disney rides.
Okay. Seventh drink, seventh country, Italy. Limoncello shot. Let's get this one down. And I just dropped my shades. Alright. What is your favorite Disney music score? I chose, this was kind of a hard one between Lion King and, for me, Stitch. Because for me, I love just the Hawaiian vibe from the music, and I also love that they have a little bit of Elvis with some rock and roll kind of mixed into it. So for me, being in Florida, I can't be in Hawaii, but Florida's pretty good. So I would love listening to Hawaiian music and want to go down to the beach and relax with some drinks or something.
So my favorite Disney score is Lion King, because the catchiness of the African music tied in with something relatable in our everyday life. Kuna Matata, you know, no worries, you know, so it's kind of teaching us how to deal with stress, or, you know, just to kind of let life happen, but at the same time tying it in with an African style of music. And it's catchy. You listen to it, you hear it, and then it's stuck in your head.
Forever.
But something that you don't mind listening to, you know, that's stuck in your head.
Yeah.
So I think that one's my favorite.
So, question number 18. Thank you for watching. Here it is. What is your favorite live action Disney movie? My live action would probably have to be, for so far, would have to be Beauty and the Beast. It was really good. watching it, kind of the whole musicals that's going on, everyone running around the town singing, and the dishes and clock coming to life and singing.
The dishes are me.
So Beauty and the Beast is probably my favorite so far, but I have a feeling that's going to change once The Lion King comes out. But since it's not out yet, Beauty and the Beast.
I would say my favorite at the moment is Beauty and the Beast for live action.
Yeah.
That is kind of, you know, one of the first ones to come out. However, after this summer, it will probably change with Aladdin and Lion King and all that. So, but for now, that's our favorite.
Alright, so thank you for watching. Like I said, hit the like button, subscribe, share, and thank you for watching.
Bye. Have a great day.
Bye.